In Toy Story 1, Buzz Lightyear's biggest discovery isn't that he couldn't fly or that he only falls with style or that he could fly with a little help of his friends. Actually, his biggest discovery was that his entire identity was a lie. And yet, somehow, that discovery is what sets him and other toys free. Well, after this brief introduction, I like to say that today I'll show you how Toy Story 1 is much more than just a kids movie and can actually give us surprising lessons on philosophy. For this, I will be mainly talking about the first movie and about Buzz Lightyear's journey and his story in the first movie, because I think it can help us understand a lot of concepts in philosophy, including object-oriented ontology, or OOO. Let's begin, shall we? So Buzz Lightyear starts the movie as a toy with a serious identity crisis. He believes that he is a real space ranger with a mission to save the galaxy. Buzz is not aware that, as Woody puts it, he's just a toy. He's just a toy. And that's where things start to get interesting. Buzz Lightyear's journey mirrors something profound about human identity, about existentialism, but that's not the focus of today's video. Okay, today I will be showing you how this move resonates with the idea that objects like toys aren't defined by their function or how we perceive them. This is a core principle of object-oriented ontology, a philosophy that states that objects have their own essence independent of us. Now let's go for examples, more concrete examples in the movie. For example, do you remember that heartbreaking moment where Buzz sees a TV commercial of his toy? In that moment, Buzz realizes that he is not a space ranger and that he is, well, as Woody put it, he is just a toy. For him, that commercial and that revelation was like a gut punch, something that made him go completely bananas. But that's also the moment that Buzz begins to evolve. And here is where OOO comes in. Instead of being defined by his packaging or by the commercial on TV or by Andy's perception of him, Buzz learns with Woody something deeper, that his value is not tied to his original purpose. His value lies in his intrinsic essence, in how he is a part of a community of toys, you know? And that's a message that's going to resonate in all of the other sequels. And that's one of the coolest parts of Toy Story, you know? The movie flips our perspective upon things. The kids and the other humans in the story, like Andy and the neighbor kids, you know, they are almost just like background characters, you know? The real action, the real essence, the real willing, the real will to do something comes from the toys. The toys build relationships with each other, make decisions, and even have their own struggles, all independent of the human around them. And that idea is central to object-oriented ontology. Objects can interact with each other in ways that go beyond human utility and the human gaze, you know? That idea is something that seems a little bit silly, but is very profound, because it challenges us to think, what if the objects in our life have their own hidden worlds as well? And going back to the movie, as Buzz bonds with Woody and other toys, he learns that being a toy isn't a limitation at all. Buzz learns that being a toy and being in a community of toys is something rich and full with meaning. And that becomes really clear when we think about Buzz's need to fly, you know? Through the movie, he goes from falling with style to finding moments of real flight. And he only can fly because of the help and support of his friends. In that whole process, Buzz redefines his identity not as a space ranger, but as a toy with purpose and connection to other toys and to the kids around him. And this is such a powerful metaphor, not just for OOO, but for us. You know, it's a reminder that fulfillment does not come from grand external missions, but from inside. It is a very existentialist perspective, you know? Toys, just like humans, they create their own meaning. And that's something that thinkers like Sartre would love. But there's so much more to unpack in Toy Story, in the Buzz journey, and the philosophy of object-oriented ontology, you know? I only scratched the surface of this subject here in this video. So if you want to explore deeper the themes of object-oriented ontology, of how movies like Toy Story, Lord of the Rings, Inside Out, and many others talk about this philosophy, then you can go to my blog, thebrazilianmud.wordpress.com. There you'll read the full analysis I made of Toy Story. I'll leave the link here in the description, and many other analyses of movies and stories that I think uses this philosophy, even though the authors didn't know about this philosophy when they wrote their pieces, you know? Also, if you like philosophy, go after the work of thinkers like Graham Harman, Quentin Meillassoux. All of them wrote extensively on these philosophy issues, and their books are quite awesome, to be honest. They are a little bit problematic, especially Harman's book, because I'm not really a fan of flat ontology, and I think that some of his ideas, well, they're very similar to indigenous ontologies, you know, to indigenous traditions, indigenous cosmovisions, and he is blind to it. Yet, those are very nice books that will probably make you think a lot about life. But mainly, as always, in this channel, I try not to take much more than 5 minutes of your time. So if you watch here this far, thank you for watching. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Thank you for watching. As always, kisses and hugs from your friend in Brazil. Bye.